Let's have a conversation.
Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm sure I'll see you at one of these events again
all
soon.
time. We got Mark with the Mindful Reality podcast, who I've been a guest on, and it was a blast.
Thank you for having me, honestly, and I cannot wait to do it again. We're going to do this again in the future. I just know it.
All right. Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing tonight? We are back. Hi, Ma. Hi, Georgian. And hi, Lisa. And hi to everybody else who hopped on here. Hi, Sheena. Hello, Joan. So, tonight's episode, I think, was actually pretty good. I've been watching several episodes without taking a single note. And if any of y'all were following me last year, you know that I would show you guys my notepad daily. Every single episode, all the things that I watched on the live feeds, I would be like, so much is happening that I don't even feel comfortable jumping on the live without notes so that I don't miss anything. So I was starting to I've been just watching these episodes because they've been really predictable. And this one started getting good, not in a sense of, I don't know what's happened, but just in the sense of they showed some good behind the scenes today. So I thought that was well done. Hi, Holly. I didn't take a lot of notes, but I have a few notes here just because I didn't want to forget the order of anything that happened. So the episode started off with, it showed one of the notable things that I have that happened at the beginning of the episode was that it circled back to the double eviction night behind the scenes. So I had already seen on the feeds that they spoke about how Felicia warned Blue, or Cerise spoke about how Felicia warned Blue about her getting evicted. And I already thought, as I was saying on Thursday, when I watched Blue's reaction to that eviction, it was not like the reaction of Corey and America type thing. So I was like, definitely somebody warned her. And I said, she must have spoken to somebody. She must have spoken to Jag. She must have spoken to Felicia. And lo and behold, Felicia came and warned her. I think they said 30 minutes before the eviction or something like that. Blue said, how long has it been? How long has it been that you have known, or that the house has known? And she's like, originally it was supposed to be America. It flipped to you a while ago. And we were just going with that. Then it showed her having a pretty anticlimactic conversation with Jag, which Matt eventually came in the room while she was having that conversation with Jag. And Jag was like, I'm sorry. Yes, it's true. I'm going to vote you out. And she was like, I'm not mad at you. If y'all hadn't came for me, I would have came for y'all. And I'm like, I wish that part was dramatic, but it wasn't dramatic because Blue wasn't there for the W. And when I say that, I say it respectfully because people have been saying that disrespectfully. I don't blame Blue for being cast because they recruited her, clearly. And it's just an opportunity that she saw, as everyone is saying, to promote her brand, put on her outfits, you know, boost her TikTok, social media, all that. So I'm not really mad at Blue for that, despite the fact that I wish that she had some big dramatic blow up, or I wish that she played the game better. But if you don't watch the show and you're not a fan of the show and they cast you, occasionally you might get somebody who's just really lucky, but typically this is what's going to happen. Funny how in the HOH they kept targeting Felicia and she knew. Okay, so let me get to this in order before I even start reading these comments. So they showed 7 minutes before. I don't know if it's really 7 minutes or if they just did that to be dramatic, but it showed that Blue had a conversation with Cirie and she said, "I know your secret." And then they hugged and Blue said, "I didn't find out from Jared. You know, he didn't tell me. I figured it out because a lot of things were adding up." But I'm like, maybe he did not directly say, "Cirie is my mom," but we watched him endlessly hint about this. He said everything around it. Well, what if my mom was in the house, bro? What if my mom was Cirie? Oh, what if my mom was Felicia? Maybe my mom is one of the two, but guess which one it is? And then Blue was like, "Oh, she's talking about things from the same region. She kind of looks like him. It makes the most sense." You know, basically anybody would have figured that out with the things that Jared was saying to her. But anyways, again, anticlimactic fashion. Blue's not going to tell the secret, but I think that at this point in time, the secret did not really matter a terrible amount. They probably would have used it against her still, but I still don't think that it would change her standing that greatly in Final 6 or Final 5 or whatever. So after that, the next thing that I have down. Oh, so I don't remember if they showed this conversation with Felicia on the episode. I tend to feel like they didn't. They might have though. But Felicia, we know that Felicia from the feeds spoke to Jag and told Jag about this conversation that Cirie and Matt had, that Cirie told her about, where Matt said that he was willing to take a shot at Jag. So Felicia used that information, went to Jag and warned him about that in an attempt to get close to Jag because she wanted to be close to the person in power, even though she did say in her diary room entry that she would take a shot at Matt and Jag. Felt a sneeze coming on. Excuse me. Even though she said that she would take a shot at Matt and Jag, she was trying to schmooze up with Matt and Jag, well, particularly with Jag, to make sure that Jag doesn't take her out in the event that he wins, because he's been winning everything. So an interesting thing is that Jag actually went to Matt, told him, "Hey, Felicia came to me and said that you were discussing about getting me out with Cirie, and you said that you might take a shot at me. And so is that true?" And Matt was like, "No, that's strange and that's crazy. Wow, why would she say that?" And then it showed him in his diary room entry like, "Yes, I did say that, but why did Cirie tell Felicia? Or how did that information get out?" Basically, he said in the diary room. And he said, "Now I have to go talk to Cirie to get to the bottom of this." So he spoke to Cirie, and then it showed how Cirie was like, "Ooh, this is bad that this got out." So she reused some true information from a couple of weeks prior where Felicia was having this conversation with her about Matt and Jack. It wasn't recent information, or I mean, it wasn't information that just happened from a conversation that just happened, but it was CYA policy. And if y'all don't know what CYA policy is, I learned that at many corporations that I've been working for. Cover your you know what. So we got into this conversation. Oh, I actually skipped the whole HOH piece of this. So we had the HOH competition. So this is what they've been talking about all this time. This thing where they roll the ball up and it's like they call their shot. They say which person's head they want to knock down, and then they roll the ball up. And if they didn't hit the person they said they were going to hit in the spot they said they were going to hit, then it doesn't count. So it had Cirie, all the people who were competing, Cirie, Jag, Felicia, and Matt. And it showed that Cirie was in the lead for a while. And then Cirie, while in the lead, stopped going for Jag. And she threw in for Felicia. And she was like, I don't want it to look like I'm just targeting one particular person. Where I'm like, Cirie, why would that matter at this point in time? Who it looks like you're targeting? Because clearly Matt, Jag, and Bowie are a 3. And clearly you have something going on with Matt. Nothing at this point in this game is a secret. So I don't see any reason why Cirie would throw that ball for Felicia instead of making sure Jag is out of the game. Number one, Felicia was terrible at the game. And number two, even if y'all don't like each other, it still makes more sense to go for Matt and Jag and get Matt and Jag out. Make this thing 2 versus 2. So Matt and Jag targeted Felicia often. Let's get Felicia out. Let's get Felicia out. And I think that I have to admit that in this annoying world where Jag runs through 8,000 scenarios a night, I think that they kind of figured if Felicia is definitely going to try to win and Felicia is definitely going to take the shot. Whereas I think that they, in one of their many scenarios, in one of their many scenarios that they went through, they were like, in the event that it's Cirie and Matt at the end, Cirie will feel comfortable not winning, which she said in her diary room entry. She said, anyone but Jag winning is good for me. If Matt wins, I'm good. So it did look like she stopped trying, especially after she knew that Jag was out. But whatever, that's whatever. So the first thing that he says, you are good, Cirie. When Matt is talking to Cirie after winning the HOH, he's like, you are good. You are not going up. And it showed him saying on Thursday, you're never going up. Like, if I win, you're never going up. So he promised that to her, but then it showed him in the DR, like, I'm going to say whatever I have to say to keep everybody comfortable. And she tried to guilt him by using that. She was like, remember you said I would never go up. I would never go up on your HOH. I would never go up. And then eventually he admitted that he's putting her up. He said, you're safe. You're good. Don't worry. I tend to feel like Cirie is way smarter than that, and she knows. I tend to feel like she knows, but I mean, especially seeing the conversations that she's been having with him today, where she was like, I genuinely want you to win, you know, like I'm rooting for you regardless of if I go home. You know, I feel like she's got a gut feeling, as Felicia would always say. And also when it showed her at the end of the episode in her DR saying, you know, I thought that Matt winning, I would be safe. But clearly, she said, I thought me and Matt were up here, but clearly Matt's here with everybody else. And she was like, gave all of them the finger, Matt, Jag, and Bowie. Yeah, so that was the episode, and now I'm going to jump into these comments. I just like to go in chronological order. All right. The stupid gnat keep flying on my face. Shout out to the 37 people on here. This is a lot more than what was on here last Sunday, because a lot of people said I'm not staying up late on Sunday. So shout out to y'all. Please hit the like button if it's your first time here, or regardless of whether it's your first time here or not. Like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. We're day 89. I've been online live all 89 days of this Big Brother season, amazingly. And I aim to be on here for all 100. That's a personal mission of mine. My dad thinks Sari regrets doing BB. She looks so sick of being there. So more sick of being there than anybody else. Matt finally had to show his cards. Matt told Sari during the double, you never put her, put her up, Hi, Charm Life. Oh, and the other thing is, Charm Life has been on my channel since my music and mental health channel. And I was just having a laugh to myself today, thinking to myself, maybe 4 weeks ago, something like that, probably about 4 weeks ago, when she was like, oh, Bowie Jane is in a pretty good position to win this game. And I literally laughed on my live. I laughed out loud. And I was like, what strategy is she doing? I was like, Bowie is terrible at this game. Here we are with Matt and Jag winning and refusing to put her up, even as a pawn. She doesn't even have to touch the block at this point. And she potentially goes into a final 3 because she's safe this week. And then she potentially goes into a final 4 where the 4th person is Felicia. They don't trust Felicia. Even though they feel like they can beat her, they don't trust her. And they will most likely get her out. And then here's Bowie in the final 3 with Matt and Jag. And even if Matt and Jag are more likely to win the final HOH comp, each of them might think that they would fare better against her than against the other. And then there's 4 women. There's going to be 4, like, let's say if Bowie made the final 2, there's going to be 4 women in the jury house. So this could turn into one of those weird, you never expected it type of wins with the way how this game has played out. And I wouldn't be mad at it at this point. Clap your hands together. That's how you kill a fruit fly. I'm going to do that, Trisha, if this trick try me again. Okay, and I'm 8 minutes behind. There were certain things they didn't show on the episode, but I tend not to get hyped to watch the episodes. I only watch them for the diary rooms. Sari came mad close to winning HOH. DRs are my favorite too. Oh, as you said this part about produced, Lisa, I felt like what Matt was saying, I even have it written down in my notes. I forgot to say it. I said what Matt was saying in the diary room entries felt extremely telegraphed. Extremely so. Like last week when he said, oh, maybe I'm going to have to take out Jag. I don't know. And then this week he's like, oh, I was planning to take out Jag, but then, you know, I just want the Minutemen to go to the end. And I'm like, I don't really think that you just went in there and was like, I want to talk about taking out Jag. I think that he was asked questions about that because it was getting very predictable and very boring. So they were like, we have to incorporate it into the episode that he's potentially thinking about taking Jag out. It felt really fake. I mean, I know that the diary room is always influenced by production, but sometimes you can tell a little more than other times. Hearing that Cirie came close is even more irritating. LOL, 8,000 scenarios. If Cirie wanted to win that HOH, she could have. That one, other times, I'm less with y'all, like the guessing one. I didn't think she threw it, but this one definitely looked like she threw it. Especially when she chose to randomly roll the ball for Felicia instead of knocking out Jag's remaining thing. Come on now. Thank you. Me too, Strange. It's my first time here. It's your first time here every day, huh? Claps in the chat for Mark's 89 days. Thank you. Trisha, Ma literally says that every single day. FBJ, I should have invested stock in her at the beginning. But you invested stock in her earlier than any of us did. Give you that much. Hi, Maya. I really think if she makes it to final two, she'll win just off the jury wanting to stick it to Matt or Jag. Has there ever been a season with a house guest never being on the block this late in the game? Y'all BB heads who know the history of the game like that and have seen all the seasons. Has there ever been a season where we get to a final four scenario where one of the people has never been on the block? Yeah, mats are written for him 100%. I know. It does look like he's reading it. They don't look like his thoughts at all when he gets into that diary room. They don't look like his thoughts at all. Ma's first day here is like, have you all seen the movie 50 First Dates? Where she forgets every morning? Was the Riley letter segment really painful? Was the Riley letter segment painful? Twitter seemed really annoyed by it. I already saw that on the feeds. Like they actually showed the whole him reading the letter thing on the feed, so it was not a surprise for me, but it was just kind of corny to me. A little bit corny to me. But because I had already seen it, it's not something that I'm reacting to now. Props to Riley for doing what she did and going to see Matt's mom. That's dedication. I'm confused with Felicia and her saying Matt is targeting Jag and Cirie putting her hand on the Bible, saying Felicia said Matt would take them over Jag, and Jag goes back to tell Matt. Welcome, Mom. Groundhog Day as well. It wasn't painful for me, just strange. Well, y'all know what time it is. We are almost at 25 minutes. And because this is the 25th season of Big Brother 25, even though that has nothing to do with what I'm about to say, I have to check if these likes are matching up with the viewers. So we had 39 viewers. From what I can see here, which you guys can't see. Oh, now you can probably see. 27 likes, which is pretty good. But I want 100% good. So for the 15 people who are looking right now and haven't liked this, what are you waiting for? Please hit that like button.
What sense does that make? The math is not mathing.
I don't think I'll ever get tired of that clip. especially for this season. That's a permanent staple of this season. I have zero optimism for this season. Everything happens that happens from here on out is officially a meme. Yeah. We just here hanging out at this point. This is not, this live is not really to discuss all the different possibilities and go through all the different scenarios. It's just, this is what they showed in the episode. We already know what it is. Nothing brings any intrigue at all until Thursday's episodes at this point. If I were to choose a winner, it's got to be Matt. They have to be 100% written for him. Jag and Bowie had to coach him on what to say to the mamas. I see, this is the part that really is, it's really annoying to watch, because for instance, this week that Matt wins the HOH, they've been telling Matt this whole time, okay, the next target is Felicia. They had endless conversations about how the next person they're going to get out after they get out America and Blue is Felicia. Felicia. Then Jag is like, I've never been able to trust Cirie, and Cirie is definitely the person I want out. And he tells Bowie, and they're like, we're not going to tell Matt until after the veto competition is played, so there's no chance of Cirie being saved. Then he discusses everything with Bowie about how he's going to approach Matt, what angles he's going to use, blah, blah, blah. He goes in and I'm like, please, Matt, please use your own mind for once. Goes in, starts talking to Matt, brings the conversation to Matt exactly how he planned to. It takes Matt, I said this yesterday, 20 minutes of discussion. 20 minutes of discussion for Matt to be on board. It wasn't a debate. It wasn't difficult. Matt was on board just like that. Just like that. 1, 2, 3. So everything Matt says, you hear Jag repeating it to Matt over and over. This is what you tell this person. This is what you tell that person. This is what you tell this person. And then to watch him go into those conversations and relay those messages in Jag's exact words. I'm like, Jag basically has 2 pieces on the chessboard. 3 pieces on the chessboard, as a matter of fact, and then add in a 4th, because Felicia's been doing his bidding, Matt's been doing his bidding, and Bowie's been doing his bidding. So it actually makes sense, honestly. Whether I like it or not, it makes perfect sense why Cirie would be the one he wants to get out. He said it clearly in the episode. Cirie's the one person I can't control. He's basically saying Cirie's the only one I can't manipulate, because he's seen that Felicia will run to him, despite the fact that they're not in any kind of alliance. She will run to him in an attempt to keep herself safe. Cirie won't do that. That's not Cirie Fields. Okay, let me get back to these comments. Commemorating the 25th season more than BB. They're doing nothing for that at this point. I wish Mimi was still here, as do I. Riley thinking Matt got a chance. That's what the narrative has been. That's the one thing that I have been seeing on different groups. I didn't want to be the one to say it. You see it, Charmed. Lewis, I would be cool with Matt winning now that Cirie is out this week, right? Her last line was, now go get that money. It was. Can I win BB25 if I debut tomorrow? What do y'all think? One of the Twitter spoiler accounts suggested the jury segment was taped yesterday. The spoilers are like, I feel like the spoilers are like 3070 correct, because a lot of those sites said that there was going to be a surprise eviction today. Go ahead and hand Jag a $750,000 check already. Same here, Trisha, especially if he gets mad out. I mean, Jag. Today, they suggested this season was important and there will be changes next season. I saw Lisa's comment before I finished yours. Canceled. Matt is playing for a Jag win. Bowie is on Jag's side. They're both basically playing into Jag's game. Maybe the comps. They should change the comps. They need to. November 9th, where are you? What changes? They suggested with comps and production. You're spot on about Jag not being able to control Sari. Like your analysis and breakdown. Thanks, Melanie. Jag told Blue that the reason he wants her gone and he wasn't even voting is because she wouldn't take him to final two. I know this. Jag keeps saying, this is not good for my game. This is not good for my game. The strange thing that I find about Jag's negotiations, I know that none of you are really going to go back and do this, but if you can really think back to when Cam was in the house, Cam negotiated in a similar way as Jag. The only difference is Cam was more aggressive with it. So I remember Jag even saying at one point, hey, Cam always makes these suggestions of moves that only benefit Cam. Let me take y'all back to Big Brother 24 when Matt Turner and Monty had a final two. Matt and Monty had a final two. And they were the two guys. And they were the two that were winning a lot of the competitions towards the end of the game, especially after they got Michael out of the game. They were the ones who were like, you know, they were the Minutemen, basically, of last season. But there were still Brittany, Alyssa, who else? Brittany and Alyssa and Taylor. There was still Brittany and Alyssa, and there was still Taylor in the game. So remember, Monty was kind of in the center. And he was like, I don't want Taylor to go and I don't want Turner to go because they're both working with me. They both have final two kind of scenarios with me. The reason I'm bringing that up is because it's best to have as many people who are for you in this game as possible. So that's why I'm saying on Jag's end, getting rid of Sari is beautiful. Best move for his game, for sure. That's the right move for him, 100,000%. But I think Matt should have fought for Sari. Because in the event, this is somebody else. You have somebody who, even if the chances are slim, you have somebody else who has a chance to win. And Felicia is not in your corner, 0%. Felicia is not in Matt's corner at all. And Bowie is questionable. So now you're really just depending solely on Jag keeping his word. And you never want that. You want as many potential lifelines as possible. So this is an error on Matt's part, putting all his eggs in this Jag basket. After taxes, it's about a $37 check. Bowie wins my ultimate floater trophy too. And I was saying she's a terrible floater. Now she's a floater with 2 HOHs under her belt. She took Cam out of the game. Like, oh man. She took out America. I think the surprise eviction will be on November 5th. They do. How did Jag seriously turn this game into his favor? Can anyone pinpoint the turnaround? I think when he started working behind Cam, honestly, I feel like they say that, what is that saying? Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Jag is lucky. So what happened with Jag was he actually benefited from this zombie week thing where Cam ended up coming back in the game, and Cam chose Matt and Jag are my guys. So I'm going to work with Matt and Jag. That was a big thing for his turnaround. I have found Jag, Matt, Bowie annoying in the sense that they get mad that others want to play their own game and not his. Exactly. I think Cam coming back from zombie week, Corey sort of gave up and pulled back while Cam was trying to play the Friends game. Jag took his opening. Yeah, that's pretty much what I said. So we're on the same kind of wavelength there. $37. It already is, but at least we have Sari. I felt really sad yesterday because Sari is going. At this point, I felt sad a little bit last week, but at this point, I'm like, let Sari go to the jury house and not have to deal with these people anymore, because she looks so beyond done with being in that house. I also have a bone to pick with them about feeling guilty about blindsiding Blue, but we're perfectly fine doing it to America. Matt's too trusting and will cost him $750K. Jag came back from being evicted and started winning. Everybody latched onto him, and here we are. Bowie and Matt got lucky. You know, Sheena, the other thing, in a season like this, in a season where you have a bunch of independent thinkers who want to play their own game, they would be like, let's get rid of this guy. He's annoying. But in a season like this, where everybody wants to play house brother, everyone wants to play, let's go with what the house wants. This is where Jag had all these openings. Because if you watch that man on the feeds, he will endlessly beat his points to death in people's heads. He'll talk to Matt for 2 hours. Then he'll talk to Bowie for 2 hours. Then he'll talk to Felicia for 2 hours. He'll talk to Corey for 2 hours. Then he'll talk to America for 2 hours. He never gets tired of pushing his points on people. And all the people that would have been opposing forces are gone from the game because of groupthink. Groupthink got rid of Riley for winning one competition. Groupthink got rid of Kirsten for being a threat to win and doing too much in the first week, allegedly. I remember somebody was arguing with me in the comment section about Kirsten, and I said, would you compare Kirsten's first week to Frenchie? And they were like, yeah, worse. I was like, did y'all forget Frenchie's first week, or am I bugging? Bowie just lets people tell her how to play her own game. She can never make her own decisions, and all she does is get pushed over and chase power every week. And yet here she is in the final 5, about to be final 4, with a chance to win. I wish I knew who Wu is from Survivor. Maybe I'll Google it or look it up on YouTube. But she thinks she's making her own decisions. Yeah. The way the season started led to this outcome. Everyone is afraid to go against the group. When they were ready to shift, they couldn't win anything. And I disagree with that. They set Kirsten up that first week. They sure did. I've heard that finale night could be possibly a messy thing. But we'll wait and see what happens. I don't know, but I've heard that finale week could be interesting. I mean, finale night could be interesting when we have our segments with the people who were evicted from the season. So I'm interested to see that. But as far as this week goes, oh man, it's gonna drag. I said it's gonna jag. I said that this week is gonna jag, and it fits. That's why I'm laughing. It's actually fitting. Watching them think as a group was weird. Are they allowed to say anything on the feeds because they edit stuff on episodes? Is who allowed to say anything on the feeds? Oh, you don't watch the feeds, YTC? I want to hear from Kirsten, Heisem, and Izzy. They've been speaking a lot outside of the show since they're all home. Basically, he won final immunity, and it was a woman named Cass and Tony. The jury did not like Cass, and Wu knew that, but he chose to be honorable. I don't understand these people who do the most honorable thing at the end of a game. If FBJ was more self-aware in the DR, and this is actually her game plan the whole time, I'd be okay if she won. I can hear saying, whoa, crikey, mate. I can't believe I made it this far. I could definitely see her doing that. I can't believe, and then it annoys me hearing her and who else? Who else out of who's left? I guess it's basically her and Matt out of who is left that don't really know Big Brother like that and have gotten a lot of their Big Brother information from other people telling them about Big Brother. Well, a lot of stuff is cut out of those live feeds by production. Okay, y'all, it's almost midnight my time. So I've got probably another 10 minutes that I'm going to sit on here. But here we are, day 89. 41 people hopped on here. I appreciate all of you. This is the better show than Big Brother. And this is the only reason why I'm watching the episodes. I'm going to be so honest. If I was not covering the show and I was not connecting with all of you and a lot of people were not tuning in for my live recaps and everything, I would have quit on this season halfway through. This has not been a good season for me at all. At all. Future house guests don't teach recruits how to play the game. America's why they know how the end game works. Big mindful T. Same with most of us too, Mark. I believe that. I can believe that. And I'd have even more people if it was not for how the season has gone, because I can't tell you guys how many have inboxed or DM'd me on wherever, Discord, Instagram, email, and been like, I'm sorry, Mark, but I can't do any more of the season. I'll see you for the next show or whatever. I'm like, that's not personal to me. Big Brother production does not even like me. For inching closer to 800 subs. It's been moving slow in the last 2 weeks, but it'll crawl over that line. I'm just looking right now. That's why I'm saying that. It'll crawl over that line. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscription button. I don't just cover Big Brother, but I have 796 subscribers. But Big Brother is a big investment time-wise. It's a big time commitment. So that's the reason why I already decided at the beginning of this season that I was basically only going to be covering Big Brother until it's done. Because last year I tried to cover Big Brother, The Challenge, Survivor, Traders, Circle, all those shows at the same time. And I was just wired all day, every day, because every spare second that I had to be towards making recaps. So I said, the only way that I can cover Big Brother from here on out, and I don't just mean this year, like whatever years that I end up covering Big Brother, when the Big Brother season is on, I can only cover mostly Big Brother. I have thrown in a sprinkling of other shows. I did a House of Villains recap. I did like one challenge recap. But when the Big Brother season is officially over next Thursday, that's when you're going to see me jumping into my other shows. If you only like Big Brother, I mean, thanks for being along for this ride. And after next week, I'll see you next year. And that happened. Some of y'all who are here, actually a lot of you who are on here right now know that this was Ghost Town from last Big Brother season to this Big Brother season. So I'm not saying that because I would like you to leave, but I know that a lot of people are very invested specifically for Big Brother only. I love Jag's face as Sari kept knocking his face down, and I wish she had knocked the last one down. A few of the lives have quit in the middle of the season already. We appreciate you. Thanks, Sheena. I would never do that. The only way that I would quit something that I started is if I had a reason to quit aside from it not being a good season. If I had a personal reason, an emergency, something like that, that's the only way you'd see me quit. Aside from that, we go in the whole 100 days. Next year, this year is an anomaly for me because honestly, if there's a 100-day season next year, or even if it's 80 days, I don't have any plan to be on for the whole every single day in terms of lives. I do not. This season was specific. The season started out so fun and went downhill so quickly. I can't get over it. Zombie Week was just the beginning of the end. This has been the worst season for me also. Lisa, we got another Canadian here. Don't tell them that I don't like Canadians, by the way. I'm just kidding, Terry. The Canadian Coalition is in the building. Hello from close by Toronto. I was born in Hamilton, and I was basically lived most of my life in Oshawa. Most of my childhood life, not most of my life total, but up until I was 15. Would you love to have all competition threats on a single season going head to head? Yes, that would be an awesome season. I would love circle recaps. I can't wait for the circle to come back. I love that show. And yeah, I don't like mentioning things and then they don't happen to work out. Even though I have mentioned it on here before, I will hopefully have a special thing to do for the first set of episodes that drop for the new season of The Circle. And I'll leave it at that. That would be cool. Star. Hello, Lisa. Oh, Terry, you were on here before. Yes. I only watch Big Brother, but I will try to watch the challenge after everything is over. What will you cover after BB25? I will cover House of Villains. I will cover the challenge. I will cover the circle. I will cover the Traders. What else do I cover? Did I mention the challenge? Oh, Survivor. Forgot about Survivor. I'll cover the Survivor also. This community is the reason why I have stuck with the season so long. CBS needs to read my comments and cut me my check and stop blocking my interviews, CBS. Both of those things. Cut me my check and stop blocking me from interviews. There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to get interviews with these house guests. There's no reason. Where can I watch the new season of the challenge? The new season of the challenge is on MTV. Challenge season 39, and it looks like it has the potential to be very good. I was about to say it's going to be very good, but then I remembered what happened with BB. So I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to be really good, but we got CT coming back. We got Cara Maria coming back, who hasn't been there in years. We got some amazing people that were here that are new, but they were really good in their rookie seasons. We got like Horacio, we got Nerys, we got Raven, we have Olivia. We have some new people on there, some brand new people. Like it's just looks like a good season. I have some cool ideas. So for those who haven't seen, I was able to interview 3 people from the Circle season 5 back to back. The first one was Chaz, and the second one was Shubi, and the third was Sam. And the cool thing about all 3 of them is that it wasn't hard for me to get those interviews. I mean, with Shubi and Sam in particular, it was hard with the scheduling, but it wasn't hard in terms of speaking to them and for them to agree to do the interview with me. But all 3 of them I had a great experience with in terms of those interviews and my interactions with them. And they're all kind of in the orbit of being willing to work with me again. So we'll see what happens with that. I hope I can put together something really cool. I think The Circle is coming out in January of next year. Hey, Lin. I was on another stream today and it was black screen and buffering too, so my Discord is being dumb. Can't wait for the next Circle. I started covering Survivor, but I'm going to be fully invested in covering Survivor after next week. Are you going to do like 1 day trader, 1 day challenge, 1 day Survivor? That's a good question. Yeah, it wouldn't really make sense for me to be dropping multiple shows on the same day like that. So I probably would spread it out in that way. But one thing I will say is that when the Big Brother season ends, I'm probably going to be doing more pre-recorded content than what I'm doing now, because I'm doing almost 0 pre-recorded content at this moment, and I'm always going live. Like if you saw my statistics, because it shows my statistics on YouTube Studio, I think it shows that I have done 80% of my content in the last 3 months has been live videos. That's a lot. Not many channels can say that. So making more pre-recorded videos allows me to take more breaks. And, you know, it's hard to actually make sure that I'm here at all these times. Because if you guys remember who were here at the start, I would say, oh, I'm going to be doing this live at 7:00 p.m. And then it would get pushed back. And then I'd show up at 10. Or I'd say that I'm showing up at 2 and then I'm on at 4, 5, 6. The reason I don't do that as much is that I have really committed to this like it's a job. to where I'm like, I'm not going to tell you 8 unless I am 90% sure that I can be here at 8. And if I'm not going to be here at 8, I do my best to give advance notice that I'm going to have to push it back. Bowie and her only. Who have I interviewed from CBS? So the only people that I have interviewed that had contracts with CBS, Wes, John Brennan, Ayanna, but that was way after her show had already aired. Yeah, that's the only ones I can think of. But those CBS contracts, the reason why I know the CBS contracts are probably the most serious is because Sam said nothing to me about her contract. Shuby said nothing to me about his contract. None of these other shows from these other networks said anything to me about their contracts. Hannah had passed her 2-year period by the time that I interviewed her. She said nothing to me about CBS contracts or, production or whatever. So I know that those CBS contracts are serious. Would Mark even want to interview FBJ? I don't think Matt knows Jag is taking Bowie to Final 2. No, he doesn't. I think he's kind of naive in that sense. Turner's contract was done. Actually, no, because let me see. No, because I guess it was only 1 year, but I don't know. I didn't have a problem with Turner. Like I told y'all, it's kind of a funny, interesting story about how I got this interview with Turner. So I met Turner at the Big Brother premiere. So at that Big Brother premiere, I was going around to everybody and asking everyone to do interviews with me. 7 people agreed that night that I was there. 7 people. And I'm not even going to name their names, but 7 people that I met at that Big Brother premiere party, and not even met, because a few of them that agreed to do these interviews, I've met them 4 or 5 times at this point. And they said, oh yeah, Mark, definitely DM me, blah, blah, blah. So the only one that I interviewed from that night was Hannah. So I like to think of creative things when I'm doing my interviews that might make them laugh or things that they haven't seen before. And I remember I had asked a bunch of people to give me to submit video questions specifically to ask Hannah when I do that interview. Nobody submitted a question. So I was like, let me try to do something funny and different. So I went on to Cameo and I looked up some different Big Brother people that Hannah would know on Cameo. And I knew that she was friends with Turner. So I actually booked his Cameo and wrote in the little box, I want to say that there's a question from a fan, and I want you to be the fan that asks the question. So he's like, oh, that sounds dope. That sounds hilarious. Let's exchange information and send me the whole concept, and I'll create it right now. This was at midnight. Was it midnight? Oh yeah, this was 2 different days. Yeah, so this was about midnight. So he created the video, he sent it to me. I was like, this is gonna be funny. I did the interview with her the next day. I played it. She thought it was hilarious. It's in my interview with her. And then I sent him a video clip of her reaction to it, and he was like, oh, that's so dope. Send me the link to her interview. Once you drop it, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to subscribe to your channel. So I was like, okay, sure. So when I finished the interview, I sent him the link. And then he was like, and then I said, he said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch this. It looks like it's gonna be good." And I said, "It would be really cool if you did an interview with me too." And he said, "Oh yeah, dope, man. Like I'm down. I'm down for that." So I said, "Okay, so could you give me your next 3 availabilities in the next 2 weeks?" This is a strategy I started to have to implement because y'all who were following me last year know that this was an issue that I had where they would say, "I would love to do an interview with you." And I was like, "Okay, well, let me know at your earliest convenience." And they would either say, "Oh, when I get back from traveling and when I do these appearances or when I'm free from work, blah, blah, blah." And a lot of them, I never got those interviews. So I started telling everybody, "Can you give me your next 3 availabilities in the next couple of weeks?" That doesn't always work, but it at least gives it a chance that they're going to look at their schedule and see what openings they have in their schedule presently and kind of work with me to lock something in. So he was like, "How about right now? Are you able to do it right now?" And I'm sitting here like, right now? It was almost 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday. I was tired. I was sick that day too. I was tired and sick. And y'all know I like to prepare for my interviews a lot. Even though these live feeds, I have lightened up on the notes and the preparation, my interview prep is still heavy. So I didn't even have questions for the man, pre-planned questions, and I never had an intent to interview Matt Turner. Not that I wouldn't have, but I never asked him before. I never reached out to him. So I didn't have any preset questions for him. But I was like, I feel like with these people, when they have openings, you just take the opening. So I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. Let's do this right now." So it was kind of cool how that happened, and just did the whole interview impromptu. And I think it was like an hour and a half or something like that, close to that. Came up with all the questions on the spot. So there was no process, is the end of that long story. There was no process to booking him for that. And I think right after that interview, he was flying out somewhere for this meetup that he had with some of the BB24 cast, literally the next day. I'm trying to just smile with the random comments. Cough Indy. I had a funny story about Indy, but I put that story in my membership chat already. But I've now met Indy. And I actually, I can tell you this part here. I spoke to Indy about this whole situation. She pretty much brushed me off. I mean, she was nice to me at the event, but she was not trying to do the interview. Not that I mean, she arguably might not have even known about it because it was not a direct contact with her. It was a contact with her manager. I would do an interview at midnight too. All right, everybody. I want to thank you so much for your support. You've been rocking with me for actually, if you're in the Eastern time zone, you've been rocking with me for 90 days. We've already surpassed last year's Big Brother. And I didn't even start covering Big Brother 24 on day 1. I probably started covering Big Brother 24 on like day 40 something. So 90 days, you've been on here faithfully, consistently. I appreciate that. she had a manager right away. Like she had just gotten out of the house, and she had like a manager, her link to her manager under her Instagram bio. Reached out. I said, hey, you know, I would like to interview Indy. Whatever I said to her. She would have been my first Big Brother interview. My first Big Brother interview, shout out to Alyssa Lopez. She ended up being my first Big Brother interview. But my first scheduled Big Brother interview was with Indy. It was like a Tuesday that I had reached out. They said, do you have availability this time of day? I said, yes. Created a Zoom link, sent it. It was locked in. I thought it was locked in. I prepared all these questions. And then I sat on the Zoom link by myself, no showed. It was the first time that happened. And it was disappointing. It was disappointing. And then I reached out to a bunch of them. I reached out to Taylor. I reached out to Joseph. I reached out to probably Jasmine, Brittany. I know I reached out to Brittany. Brittany actually responded to like a few of my DMs, but she declined. Yeah, but since then, I got 10 other people. Draw a tree in the fall, all sticks. Indy gives me the ick anyways. That's exactly what I'm trying to do, Lisa. Yeah, that was, I mean, it's random, but and off topic, but that was a really disappointing time because I wanted to do those interviews so bad at that time. I was so excited about the fact that I had gained these 2,000 subscribers, and I had mentioned that I wanted to do interviews, and I've done them for my family and friends before. And when I didn't get that Indy interview that I thought was the big interview, I wanted to give up on the interviews. And I kept reaching out to people from the end of the season, which was like October until about January. And the way when the Alyssa interview came up, I was not actively asking anybody for interviews anymore. I kind of gave up. So what happened with that interview was the fact that somebody had shamed her on Twitter for continuing her work at Hooters. So I made a video where I was like, you know what? This Twitter commenter that took that picture and posted it up and was like, oh, not Alyssa working at Hooters, reminded me of when they tried to clown the actor who was Alvin on The Cosby Show for working at Trader Joe's. Oh, you acted, so you should never work a regular job. So I made that whole video. Then Entertainment Tonight and People Magazine made eerily similar videos with the same comparison. And I made another video to show that my video was similar to theirs, but it was made the day before. But anyways, one of my subscribers suggested to me that I reach out to Alyssa and show her my video, link her my video, and ask her for an interview. And I was like, I never really had intent to interview Alyssa because if I interview anyone from that season, I want to interview somebody from the cookout. That was really my mindset about Alyssa. Not that I didn't like her, although when I saw her on Challenge USA 1, I was like, oh, she's gunning hard for Xavier. Xavier's my guy. But they just suggested that I reach out to her. So I sent an email. She got back to me. She was like, oh, thanks so much for defending me. And I would love to do the interview. It did take possibly about 1 to 2, maybe 2 months before I actually was able to lock her down for an interview, because I think that she agreed. She agreed and she said, reach out in 2 weeks because I'm traveling. I reached out in 2 weeks, and then she said, next month because I'm really busy. And it took a little while before we locked that in. But we locked it in. And to get prepared for that interview, I actually rewatched most of all of her episodes from season 23. And I did like a little bit of research about her. And I was like, wow, you know, I like her more than I did initially doing this research. And I realized it was something I really, really enjoyed doing, putting together the interview questions and then speaking to her and seeing how her answers kind of lined up with my initial thoughts of her, which some of them did, some of them didn't. And just, you know, hearing her perspectives, her takes on things. I told her that I watched season 23 with cookout colored glasses on it. So I never really thought about her perspective. And doing that interview, really, actually, I did do a couple of interviews before her. They just weren't Big Brother. But doing that particular one, I feel like that one was like, yeah, this is something that I like and I want to continue. And after hers, that's when I had all those different people, Turner and Hannah and Sam, Shuby, the psychologist, which I have to upload that interview onto this channel because I think that a lot of you would like it. Seeing the psychologist from the show Summer House, Carrie Moore. Yeah. And an interesting thing with the Wes interview, Lisa, is that I didn't realize that I was getting that much of an exclusive with the interview I did with him the day before or a couple of weeks before his final season that he's going to be on aired. And he told me that he was retiring. He told me in that interview that there was a slim to almost zero chance that he was going to be coming back. But I did not realize that he actually spoke about his retirement on the season. But shout out to Wes too, because Wes is always available to answer questions for me. And, you know, he was kind of pivotal to my starting point because I reached out to him, as a lot of you know, before I even had any interviews on my channel, before I even had reality TV stuff on my channel. I reached out to him for business advice about that. And now we're almost at 12:30. Lisa, the counter is about maybe 30 minutes after I said I was going to leave this time. And since you're on here, there's nobody that can hop on here and be like, I'm here. So now that means I am leaving officially for the night. And I hope that everybody has an amazing night, a great Monday morning. On purpose, as one of my friends always says, have a great day on purpose. And we will talk soon.
So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. But yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on everything.
That wasn't planned.
You know what?
Thank
but
you.
I like this Canadian.
Well,
I like this one.
well,